we should start with the first question. This question was based on yesterday's class. If you remember, the Sheikh mentioned that one of the only reasons why we can stay in this country amongst the non-Muslims is if we're able to maintain our religion, maintain our iman. So the brother asked a question yesterday, inshallah, which the Sheikh promised that he will clarify today, which is what constitutes maintaining your iman. What does that really mean? واضح؟ لا أشك الناس.
قلت بالأمس بالنسبة للإقامة في بلد الكفار إنه يشترط في ذلك المحافظة على الإيمان والثبات إقامة الدين. فإبقاء المحافظة على الإيمان والثبات عليه. ثم يسأل ما ضوابط ذلك.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. ذكرنا البارحة أن الفقهاء الذين قالوا أنه يستحب الهجرة من ديار غير المسلمين أنه اشترط في ذلك إقامة الدين، وإن لم يستطع إقامة دينه فإنه يجب عليه الهجرة إن استطاع ذلك وتيسر له الأمر.
يعني إن استطاع أن يقيم الدين مستحب يبقى مستحب. What we mentioned yesterday was that with regards to making hijrah, i.e. moving from a non-Muslim country to a Muslim country, then it remains something which is mustahab. It is encouraged and recommended. And those fuqaha who had the opinion, they said that as long as a person is able to establish his religion, then it remains recommended and encouraged to still make hijrah. If, however, you're in a situation in which you cannot establish your religion, then it becomes wajib. Then it becomes an obligation to make hijrah from the non-Muslim country to the Muslim country.
والسؤال هو معنى إقامة الدين، ما هو ضابط إقامة الدين؟ طبعا بعض العلماء يعني فسره بتفسير، لكن أصح المعاني هو ما قاله الشيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية رحمه الله تعالى أن إقامة الدين هي فعل الواجبات وترك المحرمات.
So the question, it revolves around what is the meaning of being able to establish your religion. Living in a Muslim country whereby you are able to practice your religion. What is the guidelines with regards to this? And the scholars have differed in the definition of this. However, the most correct is what Sheikh Musabi ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah said, that a person living in a non-Muslim country, he is able to fulfill the obligations and abandon those things which are haram.
فمن استطاع فعل الواجبات وترك المحرمات فقد أقام دينه، وأما من لم يستطع ومنع من ذلك فإن هذا لا يستطيع إقامة الدين فيجب عليه الهجرة إن تيسر له الأمر.
So whoever is able to fulfill the obligations of the religion and abandon and stay away from those matters which are haram, then he is able to establish or practice his religion, and therefore it's encouraged for him to make hijrah. A person who is prevented from fulfilling the obligations of the religion, then he has to, as an obligation, make hijrah from the non-Muslim country.
Okay.
Does that mean if somebody lives in part of the UK where there's not from Jama'ah or Jumu'ah, he wants to make hijrah with other parts of the UK
يعني الانتقال من منطقة في دولة كافرة إلى منطقة أخرى بحيث لا يستطيع أن يقيم الجماعة والجمعة في منطقة معينة إلى منطقة غيرها.
ما السبب؟ لعدم وجود المسلمين أو للمنع؟
It depends. Is it because there's no Muslims in that area and therefore there's no congregation, or because he's being prevented?
هذا لا يجب عليه الهجرة لأن عدم وجود المسلمين. لكن لو كان هناك جماعة مسلمين ومنعوا من إقامة الجماعة فمثل هذا نعم. والجمعة كذلك، وإن كان في نزاع بين الفقهاء لأن بعض الفقهاء أصلا يرى أنه لا تقام جمعة في ديار غير الإسلام.
So if it's because there aren't any Muslims or there are a lack of Muslims in a particular area, then this doesn't mean that person is not able to establish his religion. Only if there are Muslims present and then a person is prevented from praying in congregation, then he moves to the other area, and the Jum'ah is similar to this.
term it was a gift, even though there was no contract or agreement between the Muslims and this mushrik. From it, can you understand that if there's a Muslim state and there's a non-Muslim state, there's no agreement with no covenant, it's impermissible for the Muslim state to try to attack the non-Muslim state?
Okay. I think everyone heard that question.
Repeat it, Sheikh.
Repeat it in English. My English won't be.
Repeat it.
Yeah.
So, what's the question again? If there's a non-Muslim country,
There's a Muslim state
yeah,
and a non-Muslim state.
a Muslim state and a non-Muslim
There's
state,
no agreement between the two.
yeah, there's no treaty between them.
Is it correct to say that it's not impermissible for the Muslim state to
Initiate war.
initiate
So, is it impermissible for a Muslim state to initiate a war against a non-Muslim country, even though they don't have any treaty or alliance between them?
Because he asked this because we talked about the mushrika, the lady who was non-Muslim, and Muhammad ﷺ didn't take her money against her will. No, it's not the case. Now it's different. The Sharia wants that just to be applied everywhere. So, if we have a contract with any other non-Muslim country, we should respect that contract. Okay? لأن الله لا يحب الخائنين. Allah does not like the traitors. And this ayah, the beginning of the ayah, وَإِمَّا تَخَافَنَّ مِنْ قَوْمٍ خِيَانَةً فَانبِذْ إِلَيْهِمْ عَلَى سَوَاءٍ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْخَائِنِينَ. So say it, Sheikh. أنا أشرح لك إياها.
طيب.
إذا كان هناك عهد بين دولة مسلمة ودولة غير مسلمة ثم ظهرت بوادر الخيانة من الدولة غير المسلمة، الله عز وجل يرشدنا ماذا نفعل. يقول النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام: وإما تخافن من قوم خيانة، يعني بيننا وبينهم عهد لكن ظهرت منهم ظواهر تدل على أنهم سيخونون، فهنا ينبغي على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أن يعلمهم أنه حصل عندكم كذا وكذا ونحن ليس بيننا وبينكم عهد، معناها نستطيع في أي وقت أن نغزوكم، لأن خلاص انتهى العقد، تفعل هذا، يجب عليك أن تفعل هذا لأن الله لا يحب الخائنين.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said in the Quran, verily Allah does not love those people who are treacherous. In this ayah he said Allah does not love those people who are treacherous. In the beginning of this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if there is, the meaning of which is, if there is between you and another group a treaty of peace, and then you fear from them treachery, meaning you can see the beginnings of betrayal, treachery coming from them, then you have to announce to them, you have to tell them that we have seen this from you, and therefore our treaty is broken, and now we are ready to attack you at any time. So even in this situation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He obligated upon His Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that you have to clearly mention to the other group who you fear treachery from, and you have a treaty between both of you, that you want to now end this treaty. All of it, why? Because Allah then said at the end of this ayah, Allah does not love those people who are treacherous and they betray.
So, if there is a contract, we respect it. If there is a reason to break that contract, we break it openly, not trade. Okay, now there is no contract. Okay? If there is no contract, Islam wants justice to be applied, or just to be applied in that country. If they don't apply just, which is Islam, the leader of Muslims, he has the right to go and establish war. But before establishing war, there are steps. First of all, calling them to Islam and make it clear that you need to be Muslim, you need to, if they refuse, then to accept that Islam rules them. They can keep their religion. If they refuse, then the third option is war. So you can see that applying Islam is not for individuals. Individuals can keep their religions. So that lady, she can keep her religion because individuals have no power. Now the power is for the state. If the state applies Islam, that's fine for the individuals to stay non-Muslims. You understand what I mean? Because Islam is just. Justice? Is just. So this is the idea. There is contract, you should respect it. Like now, once you join the United Nations, it means you have a contract with everyone in the United Nations, not to establish war. So now, automatically, you are in a peace with everyone. So no way of breaking that contract, unless if the other country breaks the contract, then you fight against them as a country, not as individuals. So if I find an individual who doesn't fight, he's not a warrior, he's not a fighter, outside, and I have power, it doesn't mean that I go to kill him. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he had a fight against non-Muslims, then he entered that country, he saw a killed woman, that's in Sahih al-Bukhari. He said, who killed her? Who killed this woman? She's not a warrior. So it means that any non-warrior shouldn't be killed. And because of that, when we talk about like 11 September, many Muslims, even in my country, they said, okay, these non-Muslims kill Palestinians. Okay, I say, okay, go and kill them. Don't kill the innocent people in these two towers.
And just to clarify, the Sheikh is not mentioning here that he wants anybody to go and kill anybody in Palestine.
Yes, if you are a real man, okay, apply justice. Just don't go and just kill people in the street, because a man came. This is the situation, just like this. A man came, strong man, muscular. I'm a thin man. He came to me, huh? No, I'm okay. I'm not saying that. Okay. Okay, I take this story and you'll understand what I mean. A man came to me and for no reason he beat me. He beats me, yeah? Bad. Hit me. Yes, hits me. Bad. And I have no power. Then, tomorrow, after a while, I saw his kids. I go and beat them. Is it right? Why he did that? I say, why he did that to me and my kids? Okay, if you're a real man, go and beat him. You understand what I mean? So if you're angry with that man and you can't hit him, don't hit the others. This is haram, simply. So everyone says it's halal to kill anyone in the street because the other people who believe, who in the same religion with that people killed you. This doesn't make sense. You understand what I mean? It's like, it's a nonsense. So, that's it. Allah.
Okay, we don't need translation. One question, Sheikh. نبي مصافحة النساء الكافرات في الضرورة هل يجوز أم لا يجوز؟ خاصة في الضرورة.
بلا شك.
بلا شك.
Is it permitted for a Muslim man to shake the hand of a non-Muslim woman without any desires? If there's no desires at all, is it still allowed for a Muslim man to shake the hand of a non-Muslim woman?
تحريم مصافحة المرأة ومن باب تحريم الوسائل والمفضية إلى الزنا، طبعا المرأة الأجنبية.
When it comes to not shaking the hand of a woman, i.e. somebody who's ajnabiyya, then this is because Islam is blocking all the avenues towards haram.
فإذا كانت هناك مفسدة ستقع، فإن المفسدة تبيح فعل هذا الأمر للحاجة. إن كان هناك مفسدة، يعني أضرب لكم قصة. يعني ذكر لي رئيس أهل السنة في ساحل العاج، يقول كان عندنا حفل للدولة، كان من ضمن الحفل رئيس رئيس دولة ساحل العاج قدم، وزوجة الرئيس قدمت معه، وكل رؤساء الطوائف في ساحل العاج موجودين.
However, if by not shaking the hand of the woman there's going to be a greater harm that occurs, then in that situation it is permitted. I'll give you a story or an example to clarify this. That one of the heads of Ahlul Sunnah in a particular country, he said that there was an international gathering or an international ceremony, and the presidents and also the wives of the presidents, they attended.
هذه المرأة صافحت التي هي زوجة الرئيس، صافحت رؤساء الوفود، ومن ضمنهم رؤساء وفود مسلمين، فصافحوها، منهم الصوفية والشيعة وغيرهم، فصافحوها. فلما وصلت إلى هذا رئيس أهل السنة رفض مصافحته.
So now the wife of the president, she's going around and she's shaking the hands of the people and the various other groups. When it came to the man from Ahlul Sunnah, the leader of Ahlul Sunnah in that country, he refused to shake her hand.
To clarify that, she shook the hands of the Sufis, the Shia, the Rafida, one by one, etc. And then Ahlul Sunnah refused.
فيقول لي هذا الشيخ، يقول هذه عدم المصافحة أحدثت ضجة في ساحل العاج، والجرائد والتلفاز أكثر من شهر يحذرون من أهل السنة وأنهم متطرفين بسبب هذا الأمر.
And the person who refused to shake their hands, he mentioned that because of not shaking the hands of the wife of the president, a big problem occurred. So the media, the television, all of them, they start labeling him extremist and labeling Ahlul Sunnah as being extremists.
فلا شك أن هنا صافحة هذه المرأة أنها جائزة للحاجة، لأن هنا حاجة ودفع مفسدة ستقع على المسلمين.
So in this situation, because there was a dire necessity and also to repel the greater harm, it was permitted.
هذا قول بعض الحنفية أو طائفة من الحنفية أنه يجوز مصافحة المرأة الأجنبية للحاجة.
And this is an opinion of some of the Ahnaf. Some of the Ahnaf, they said that if there is a dire necessity, then it is permitted to shake the hand of ajnabiyya.
وهو جار على قواعد الشرع، وهذا هو الراجح والله أعلم.
And this is according to the principles of the Sharia.
طيب شيخ، لما تنسى إذا كنا نحن في الموقف مثل هذا ونظن قد تدل فينا نحن من المتطرفين، هل نتسافح أو لا نتسافح؟ إذا كنا في الموقف مثل الاجتماع مع غير المسلمين كثير وهناك كافرات.
What's the question?
I was saying, if we were in a similar situation here in the West, in a group among some people, non-Muslims, and we felt that if we didn't shake the hands of this woman, that we would be considered as extremists amongst this group of people, maybe in the council or some important people, some places, and that it would actually, by not shaking the hand, it would have an adverse effect on our dawah, on us, would be considered as extremists. Because, you know, in England now, it's a big thing to talk about extremists. You know, these extremists, these are the signs of extremism, etc. Or not, you know. You can get reported to prevent, actually, if you do that. So, my point is that if we were in that situation, but, you know, in some schools, my daughter, you know, was, because she said that the non-Muslims go to hellfire in school, I got called in under the proverbial, I had to try to get me to sign papers to the local council and so on and so forth. And in that situation, they didn't ask me, but had they raised their hands, and I didn't say to shake my hand to the female head teacher. If I didn't do it then, they would have confirmed that I was an extremist in that particular situation. So I want to put this to the Sheikh, actually. These are the real life situations we actually live in.
الحاجة والمفسدة يقدرها الشخص، ما تستطيع أن تحكم على كل صورة من الصور أن هذه مفسدة أو لا. هو الشخص الذي يعلم هذا بينه وبين الله سبحانه وتعالى. هنا نأتي إلى حديث استفتي قلبك، هنا ينظر هل هنا دفع مفسدة أو هنا ستقع له مفسدة أو لا، هو ينظر في نفسه.
With regards to a person estimating or knowing what is the necessity, then this goes back to a person himself. And he has to be truthful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in knowing what is a necessity and what is not a dire necessity. And so, like the hadith of the Prophet, check your heart, ask your heart. Meaning you know what is a necessity.
المسألة الثانية، إذا لم يصافح فلا بد من البيان ولا بد أن يبين لهم حكم هذا في الإسلام، لأن هؤلاء النسوة الأجنبيات أو النساء الأجنبيات تظن أن هذا احتقار للمرأة، تظن أن هذا احتقار للمرأة.
And the second issue is that if the Muslim man, he refuses to shake the hand of a non-Muslim woman or any woman who is ajnabiyya to him, then he should also clarify why he is refusing to shake her hand. Because the opponents of the Sharia, they would say that you are belittling the woman. So you should explain to them the reason why you don't shake the hand of the woman and the ruling of Islam regarding it.
وتخبرها أن هذا ليس خاص بغير المسلمين، بل حتى في المسلمات الأجنبيات أنني لا أصافحهن.
And that you should explain to the woman that this isn't because you're a non-Muslim woman. In fact, even the Muslim women, I don't shake their hands.
وهناك حيلة يستخدمها بعض الناس.
And sometimes there's a hila, there's a way out of it that some people mention.
تعلمون أن مذهب الشافعية ينقض الوضوء إذا صافحت المرأة.
And the madhab of the Shafi'iyya is that if a man touches a woman who is ajnabiyya to him, i.e. non-relative, then the wudu is broken.
فإذا أردت أن تصافحك، خاصة إذا كانت مسلمة مثلا أجنبية، تقول أنا متوضئ.
So if you want to shake, if you're going to touch her hands and you don't want to shake hands, just say, look, I'm in a state of wudu. وأنا شافعي.
لا ما تقول أنا شافعي، تقول أنا متوضئ. فإذا قلت أنا متوضئ هي ستفهم أن هذا ينقض الوضوء، فأنت لم تقل لها أن هذا ينقض الوضوء. والشيخ بين له أنك لم تقل لها أن هذا ينقض الوضوء.
So all you're saying to her is that, look, I'm in a state of wudu and therefore I don't want to shake your hand. So she understands that, okay, you're of the opinion that if you shake a woman's hand, then your wudu is broken.
Okay. The next question, Sheikh Muhammed, regarding accepting gifts from the non-Muslims. Is it permissible to accept gifts from them at the period, like Christmas gifts or Easter gifts or birthday gifts? And also while we're there, greetings. Is it permissible to give, Christmas greetings, Easter greetings, and so on and so forth, birthday greetings, verbally?
Okay. I'll start in Arabic. ثبت عن علي رضي الله عنه أنه أهدي له هدية في النيروز اللي هو عيد المجوس فقبلها.
It has been narrated from Ali radiallahu anhu that a gift was given to him due to a festival of the Persians.
نيروز يعني عيد الفرس عيد المجوس. فقبلها.
So he accepted it. He accepted the gift.
وكذلك عائشة ابن عائشة رضي الله عنها she accepted some gifts from mushrikeen who were celebrating some of their religious ceremonies or occasions. Under one condition, it shouldn't be an animal which has been slaughtered. So if it's something was slaughtered, food, like meat, even though we eat meat from Ahlul Kitab, it's a non-terrible, isn't it? Okay, if even though, but if it was slaughtered because of that occasion, it's not allowed to accept it. If it's something else, like cakes, like whatever, if it's not food, it's okay to accept it as long as you didn't attend. So you don't attend, they're your neighbors, and they celebrated, then something left and they sent it to you, it's okay to accept it. Because it's not a part of sharing them. It's something they did it and they sent it to you. So it's okay to accept it. Greeting them, if it's what you call it, a religious celebration, you don't greet them. Because greeting them is a part of sharing with them, celebrating with them. But if they start, now this happens even with us back home, we have a lot of non-Muslims, and they come and say, Merry Christmas. So it's really embarrassing, isn't it? So don't say Merry Christmas. What I do, I just say thank you. Okay? So with a smile, huh? Thank you. That's it. So don't give it back to him or to her, huh? So that's it. If it's a wedding party, or graduation ceremony, whatever, okay, you can even go and celebrate with them, as long as there is no munkarat, there is no sins over there. Because usually these celebrations contain music, man and women mixing. Even if it was Muslims who are doing that, you are not allowed to go. So this is not something special for non-Muslims. Sins anywhere, you don't go and share with them. Okay? So if it's men celebrating something halal, you can go and celebrate with them. That's Allah Ta'ala.
Sheikh, what about eating Easter eggs? These chocolates they make at Easter time.
That's fine. If they send it to you, that's fine.
But what if are we allowed to encourage our children? Yeah, they see Easter eggs in the shops. It's the time of Easter. I'll go buy it for the kids and let them eat it and enjoy themselves.
I don't know. Ask Sheikh. Buying it, is it a kind of celebrating with them?
No, they just want to buy it because they see the Easter eggs as chocolate.
هذا تشبه. هذا تشبه. I think if you buy it for your kids, it's like imitating them. So you are kind of celebrating, yes, with your kids, and making like some Muslims would like to have dogs for their kids because the non-Muslims have dogs, and they would like to have dogs, and then they would say, okay, this is for protecting me from thieves. Because it's halal if you fear thieves or for protection, it's okay to keep I don't know what the kind of dogs, but big dogs to protect you, it's halal. So some Muslims who have weak faith in their hearts would like to have dogs, and it's a kind of getting reason to have a dog. I went to a Muslim house and I saw a big dog, and I say, this is haram. He said, yes, but this is for protection. We fear thieves. I said, oh, are you? He said, yes. We were outside in the garden. Okay, I said, that's okay. Then all of a sudden, a small dog. Nice one. Okay, I said, and this one? He said, this is the mom of that. I don't know how come. But he said, this is this. So he had, if it's true, he had that small one before the big one. So you see, just finding ways to make haram, you're not going to cheat Allah.
No. طيب, there's one here.
Will it be a sin on parents if they send their children in a state school like England and European countries, and if they can't afford the Islamic school, like there's no Islamic school in the city?
If there's no Islamic school or they can't afford the Islamic school, is there sin on them sending them to the public school? And also, is hijrah wajib for them? You got that? Yes.
شيخ السؤال هل يأثم من أدخل أبنائه في مدرسة حكومية ولا كافرين لمن لازم يدفع تكلفة المدارس الإسلامية الخاصة؟
أو ليست هناك مدرسة إسلامية في المنطقة.
نعم.
هل يجب عليه الهجرة إلى منطقة فيها مدرسة إسلامية حتى ما يفتح عياله؟ فعدم القدرة أو عدم وجود الهجرة.
الحمد لله رب العالمين. طبعا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال كفى بالمرء إثما أن يضيع من يعود.
The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, it is sufficient for a person as a sin that he wastes and allows to be lost those who are his responsibility, i.e. his family. This is enough of a sin.
وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم كل مولود يولد على الفطرة فأبواه يهودانه أو ينصرانه أو يمجسانه.
And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that every child is born upon the fitrah, meaning upon the innate belief of at-tawheed. And then it is his parents who take him towards Judaism or Christianity or fire worshiping.
ولا شك أن إدخاله إلى مدارس تنافي الإسلام أو تضاد الإسلام أو يعني تنقض عقائد الإسلام أنه ممن يساهم في هذا الأمر.
And no doubt, placing your children in those schools which oppose Islam, which negate Islam, which go against the tenets or the principles of Islam, then this is
فهو يساهم في تنصيره أو تغويده.
Then a person, he is helping in his children losing or weakening their religion.
والواجب عليه الهجرة إلى مكان في مدرسة إسلامية أو أن ندخلهم مدرسة إسلامية حسب الطاقة.
And therefore the obligation upon a person is to go to an area, migrate to a place in which he can put his children in a Muslim school.
طيب, شنو هذا؟ وش ده يعني؟ وش ده؟
What's the ruling
هذا
on
السؤال.
what's the
وش
ruling
ده؟
on
وش ده؟
skin pigment?
What's that?
Skin fade haircuts.
Yeah, not to imitate the kuffar, but generally it's a cultural norm in the UK for
ليس بقزع. ليس بقزع.
قزع.
ليس بقزع. لكن قريب منه. حيث يظهر بشرة الرأس من.
Okay, before coming to that,
One second, can you just mention the question on the mic?
The question is, what is the ruling of skin fade haircuts like that? But if it isn't done for imitating the kuffar, because it is the culture.
okay, so before coming to that, I'll go back to the previous question. If you can't enroll your child in a Muslim school because you have no money, you can't afford it. Not because there is no Islamic school. So you immigrate to a country which you can afford enrolling your kids in an Islamic school. You understand what I mean? Because it's expensive there and your income is not enough. If you can immigrate to an Islamic country or another country where you can afford to enroll your kids in an Islamic school, you have to. You can't do it now. You start finding, you start seeking. You do what you have to do. You understand what I mean? Because sometimes you say, someone says, I can't do it. And that's it, and he sleeps. No. Yes, now you can do it, but If you start finding, you start seeking, Allah will help you and you will find ways. If there's no way at all, then there's no way. You can't. Okay? But if you can, or you need to start doing it. Okay, about cutting hair in the style my brother asked, if it's not a total cut, it's okay. If it's not a total cut, I don't know how you say it. Shaving, yes. So if you don't shave, you just make some style. I don't know, many styles these days. Some of them, I don't find them. I'm a student services manager or student affairs manager in an institute. And the kids come with their very weird styles back home. And I said, do you find that nice? and his friends keep laughing on him. Because many of them just something crazy. However, Islamically, it's okay, inshallah, if you don't totally shave or near to shave. It's okay, inshallah. لا هو مش خاص بأعماله، هو خاص بالهيئات. الهيئات التي ليست تعبدية، وإن كان خاصا تعبديا يفعلونه تعبدا عرفا، خاصة في مثل هذه الدولة ما في بأس، مثل ما ذكر الشيخ. والله. May I add something?
Sorry, Sheikh, can you just translate what you said there? It's very important, I think. Naveed?
Yes, go ahead. Translate.
I said that they're not anything to imitating the non-Muslims, even though it's not done religiously, but it's a culture which is specific to them.
Yes, no, it's not, because they don't do it out of religion. It's not something from their religion, isn't it? And it's a fashion. So if you do it just not to be odd, and it's not haram because you didn't totally shave, it's okay. And I believe that's a kind of way out of shaving. You don't want to shave, totally shave. But now I have another thing here. Imitating المتشددين من المسلمين. So you look like someone who usually in the TV kills the others, like having long beard, long hair, and someone in the street sees you, says, "Oh, he's like that one who kills." This is forbidden as well. تشبه بأهل البدع أيضا حرمه العلماء ما دام فيه مضرة.
So imitating the people of innovation, the ulama have even made that impermissible. If it's going to cause some harm, then imitating the people of innovation is not allowed.
So both sides, you need to be careful.
طيب سليم.
Just confused about that last point about the shaving. Is that shaving with shapes in the hair or clean shave?
No, he's not talking about shaving.
Shaving some and keeping some. Okay, that was the question. But if you totally shave, it's okay. If you shave all of her hair or head, it's okay. But shaving some and keeping some, that's. But if you cut in different degrees, grades, blend, yes, it's okay. It's okay.
Going back to this question, what is the definition of Islamic school and how does it differ from other schools?
فهم سؤالك شيخ يسأل تريد يقدر مش هو يسأل
نعم ما هو ضابط المدرسة الإسلامية؟ كيف نميز المدرسة الإسلامية من غيرها؟
الضابط المقصود في أن المدرسة الإسلامية ليس المقصود أن يعني تدخل مدرسة، حتى لو أدخلت مدرسة دنيوية مباحة رياضيات، حتى لو لم يعلمون الدين علمها أنت في البيت. لكن أنا ذكرت أنه لا يعلم ما يناقض دين الإسلام، ما هو معلوم من دين الإسلام محرم بالضرورة فيعلم أنه مباح أو أنه جائز أو أنه لا حرج في ذلك. لا يجوز مثل هذا.
What we don't mean by this, entering them into a school, or saying another way, that it's not allowed for a person to enter his children into a school wherein Islam is going to be negated. So for example, they are taught that which opposes Islam, or those things which are known to be haram by default, by necessity, they are told that this is not haram. So it's not allowed for a person to put his child into that type of school.
But to enroll him in a school which teaches them math, science and history, like something doesn't harm Islam, it's okay. This is a good question actually. So, the name of Islam is not something necessary to be on the top of the school. You can enroll your kid where he learns language, math, science, whatever. As long as what he learns in that school doesn't contradict with Islam. Now, another thing. If the school doesn't teach anything contradicts Islam, but the culture in the school is against Islam and the kid gets things against Islam from the culture, it's as prohibited as well. Haram. It's haram. And if that culture occurs in the neighborhood, you need to get away from that neighborhood. So anything contradicts Islam, affects yourself or your family, you need to be away from it.
نحن لا شك أننا نرحم أطفالنا ونريد لأطفالنا الحياة الجيدة والحياة الطيبة والمريحة.
No doubt we want for ourselves and our children a life which is good, a life which is easy.
لكن اعلم أن أول محبة وعناية بالطفل لا بد أن تعتني بدين هذا الطفل.
However, you should know that the first importance that you have to attach is in preserving the religion of this child.
واعلم أنك لو أعطيته الدنيا وضيعت دينه فإنه خصمك أمام الله يوم القيامة.
And you should know that if you gave your child all of the dunya, but you allowed his religion to be wasted, then this will be the first case against you in front of your Lord.
وقد صح عن ابن مسعود رضي الله تعالى عنه إن المرأة الزوجة أو الابنة لا تفرح بما تجد على زوجها من تقصير. إن المرأة يعني أو الابنة لا تفرح بما تجد على زوجها من تقصير يوم القيامة تطالب بحسناته.
So, you know, in the judge day, everyone runs away from his beloved ones. And everyone is seeking Ibrin for one hasana, one reward. Because it's everyone is in a trouble that day. And ra'ayat, the ones you take care of them in dunya, like your family, they're going to be against you in the other day if you didn't take care of them here. So when it comes the other day, the judgment day, if it comes and they find there something against you, they become happy because they'll take that thing to judge you in front of God to get more rewards for themselves so they can be away from hell and throw you inside. So you need to do your job here before to them. Here before you go there.
In regards to the two types of love you were speaking about earlier, religious and worldly love, how does this apply to the people of innovation and non-practicing brothers? How should we love them? Is this a religious or worldly love? And how should we associate with them in comparison?
MashaAllah, his English is sophisticated. So it's difficult for me. What did he say? Okay.
كيف نطبق هذا على أهل البدع
المعاصي؟
نعم أهل البدع.
بالنسبة لأهل البدع يختلفون تماما وأهل المعاصي يختلفون تماما عن حكم غير المسلمين. أهل البدع إذا لم يخرج من دائرة الإسلام فإننا
firstly, the question is that the categorization of the two types of love, the love which is on the basis of a religion and the love which is natural or just materialistic on the basis of the dunya. How does this apply to the people of innovation and the people of sinnings from within the Muslims?
أهل البدع تجتمع فيهم المحبة الدينية والبغض الديني. أحب دينه وأبغض بدعته، وكذلك العاصي أحب دينه الدين الذي فيه من صلاة أو صوم وأبغض معصيته.
So first of all, the people of innovation and the people of sinnings, they differ completely from the people of kufr and disbelief. As long as that bid'ah, that innovation doesn't take them out of the fold of Islam. With regards to the people of innovations and the people of sinning, then you can combine your love and hatred for them. Meaning at the same time you love them and at the same time you hate them. So you love them according to their righteousness, you love them according to their religion, and at the same time you hate them to the level of their innovation. And also a person who sins. So you love him according to his righteous deeds, the prayers and the fast which he is doing, you love that. However, because of his sinning, you hate him to the level of that sinning.
فأهل السنة يقولون تجتمع في المبتدع والعاصي المحبة والبغض والموالاة والمعاداة، بخلاف أهل البدع الخوارج الذين يقولون أنه لا تجتمع المحبة مع أو الموالاة مع المعاداة، بل يبغض ويعادى، وبخلاف المرجئة الذين يقولون يحب ولا يبغض. فأهل السنة وسط.
Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, they are in the middle, they have a middle course, and that they say that it is that a person can combine between loving and hating at the same time a person of innovation and a person who sins. You combine love and hatred of that person, i.e. you love him according to what he has from righteousness and you hate him according to what he has from sinning and from innovations. And this is in opposition to the Khawarij and the Murji'ah. So the Khawarij, they said that you cannot combine love and hatred of a Muslim. You only hate him. And as for Murji'ah, they said that there is only love. But Ahlul Sunnah in the middle of this, they combine between love and hatred of an innovator according to his righteousness and according to his innovation.
أما المعاملة فبحسب المصلحة. معاملة المبتدع أو العاصي أو الفاسق فهي بحسب المصلحة. فإن كانت المصلحة في تأليفه فإنه لا يهجر، وإن كانت المصلحة في هجره فإنه يهجر.
And as for interacting and dealing with the innovators, dealing with the people of sinning, then it's according to the potential benefit and the harm. Meaning, if there will be more benefit in showing him affection, then you interact with him like this. And if there's going to be more benefit for him in boycotting him, then he is boycotted.
والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لم يهجر عبد الله بن أبي بن سلول لأنه كان يظهر الإسلام، وهجر الصحابي كعب بن مالك لأن هناك مصلحة في عدم هجر عبد الله بن أبي وهناك مصلحة في هجر كعب بن مالك.
And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did not boycott Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, and he was a munafiq, but he showed Islam. So even though he was a munafiq, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did not boycott him. On the other hand, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam boycotted his own companion Ka'b ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu. So according to the potential benefit.
Three short questions.
One.
Okay. This person lives with his parents, and his parents are non-religious. Sadly, they're not religious, and he wants to move to a place where there are more Muslims, more Salafis, more schools, more masjids, etc.
but he knows for a fact that his non-religious parents are going to bring in like plasma TVs and DG boxes and things like that, you know, to watch Indian shows or whatever, a lot of music and stuff like that. Is this sin upon him? Because he may feel that he may feel pressure to remain where he is in a smaller house where there's much less Muslims and so on.
So is the question about smaller house or the evil within the house?
Right, the question is, he lives in a small house where there's very few Muslims in that area.
Right. Okay.
There's very few Muslims in that area.
Yes, but
I mean, is he going to get the sin for allowing this plasma TV and all that stuff in his house?
He lives with his parents. His parents are in charge of the house.
No, but he wants to move to a bigger house.
You're asking about is he responsible for the sin in the house?
Yeah.
And who's in charge of the house?
Well, he's thinking of buying or renting a bigger
Who's
house.
in charge of the house he's in?
Oh, it's his parents. His
Oh,
non-religious
chef?
parents.
okay, yes, it's very clear. But now, what's the difference if he stays in that small house or moving to the bigger house?
Well, firstly, in the bigger house, it's more space, and also there's more Muslims, more Salafis, more masjids in the area, more.
But in terms of the sin itself, does the bigger house brings more sins for him? Or
Not necessarily. It doesn't really.
okay, so there is nothing to do with the big and small house or moving. It's only the parents doing some sins. Is he responsible of that or not? Okay, good. Thank you. So the question here, a person lives with his parents and they do some sins like bringing TVs with some shows or movies, music. What shall he do? Now, there is more than an aspect here. First of all, if they own the house and they do whatever they want in their house. You, if you can move to your own house and keep the relationship, either they are Muslims or non-Muslims, not only Muslims with sins, even if they are non-Muslims, you don't abandon your father or mother, even if they are non-Muslims. So, if you can move to another house where you can raise your kids in a proper way, you have to. If you can't, or moving to another house means that you're going to neglect your parents, harming them. They need your support, so you need to stay. You have to stay with them and try to avoid the harm of what they do. Usually, only listening to music and watching movies. It's usually doesn't bring harm, real harm to the faith of the kids. So you move if you can. If you can't, because you're going to harm your parents by moving, or you can't afford it, so don't move. I think that's clear. The dalil, قوله تعالى وإن جاهداك على أن تشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا تطعهما وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا. Now Allah talking about parents who invites and force jahada, do all what they can to convert you from Islam to shirk. Allah Azza wa Jal says, don't listen to them, but صاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا,
but live with them in this dunya in a good manner.
So that's mushrik, not in himself. Mushrik trying to affect you. Okay? So you need to be nice to that mushrik, your father. Even Imam Malik was asked if I was in a war against kuffar, against non-Muslims, and my father faced me, non-Muslim father, who's killing Muslims now in a war. He said, go away of him. Don't kill him. Go away. Because Allah says, وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا.
We live with them in this dunya in a good manner.
So, to that extent. So watching movies, I think, it's not a big deal.
Bismillah, brothers. Just one bit of a clarification, inshallah. The Sheikh, he mentioned in his talk that it's permissible to look at a woman when you have some specific dealings with a woman, and you look at the woman without shahwa, without desires. So I asked the Sheikh, you made this statement, is there any dalil, evidence behind this? So we want some clarification.
It's good to ask for dalil, especially sometimes many of mashayikh, not me, but mashayikh, sometimes they make statements and they don't reveal dalil just to make it short, or they forget sometimes. So it's always good to ask for dalil, especially if you have some doubts. The dalil, there is many actually. Rasul ﷺ and his companions were dealing with women, and women in the time of Prophet ﷺ were dealing with men in different aspects, like when they were coming to Rasul ﷺ asking questions. Rasul ﷺ wasn't waving his face away from them. And Bilal radiallahu anhu, once he was like he was with Muhammed with the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and a woman came to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam house and asked Bilal a question. Then Bilal went to Rasul alayhi salatu wasallam, telling him that Zainab is asking a question. Then Rasul said, which Zainab? And Bilal told him which Zainab, because they were more than a Zainab. So this is obvious that Bilal looked at that woman, and because he was talking to her and she was talking to him. Then fuqaha said, scholars say that sometimes, especially if the deal, there is a money deal, maybe a problem occurs later on, so you need to go to the court and you need to know with whom you was dealing. So you need to look at her, or she needs to look at you as well. So and another thing, there is this qaida, المحرم لأجل الوسائل يباح للحاجة. How you say? المحرم لأجل الوسائل يباح للحاجة.
Something which is haram generally becomes permissible if there is a specific need.
لأجل الوسائل.
Okay, it's because of the wasa'il, because of the means, because of the means, huh?
Okay, so haram is two kinds. Sometimes the thing is haram because there's a harm in that thing itself. So taking the other's money without a legal permission, or it's dhulm, it's what you call them? Pressure. So that's haram anyway, because it's haram itself. Making zina is haram because it contains itself, it contains harm. But looking at a woman, it's haram not because it's harm itself, because it could lead to a harm. So that's not as haram as zina. So zina is haram anyhow. This is haram, but if there is a reason stronger than the reason of abandoning that thing, it will be halal, because there is a reason, like dealing with the woman. You understand what I mean? So this is a general rule in Islam. Haram is two kinds. The first haram, which contains harm itself, this is stronger. The second haram, there is no harm in itself, but it was made haram because it leads to harm. It may lead to harm. So this is, it's haram still, but lower than that one. So if there is a need for this, not necessity, need of this, if there is a necessity even for the second one, it's not haram. But now it could be not a necessity. It could be some need there. It could be halal because of that need. I think it's clear, isn't it?
الله يبارك فيكم. هل يفرق بين النظرة والنظر يعني مداومة المرء؟ لأنك ليه ما يترجم فالنظرة شيء، النظرة مرة واحدة والنظر مداومة النظر شيء.
هو مثل ما ذكرت يا شيخ، المحرم الضرورة تقدر أو الحاجة تقدر بقدره. So as we said before, Sheikh mentioned this again. Once the deal is done, you don't keep looking. Because some people say, okay, I've looked anyhow. Okay, you've looked because there was a need. But now, so if you have friends at class, or classmates, or what you call it, colleague at work, and you have a deal with her, okay, you look. After the deal, you don't go have coffee together. Huh? That's it.
So you got that, is that clear? Is that clear? Yeah. Okay. There's another really important thing to say because the internet went off. The internet went off when you said, well, there was what Sheikh Anis mentioned about the permissibility in darura when of shaking hands with women when there's a necessity. Remember when you spoke about that, the internet went off. So I think the listeners they didn't get the complete story. Also, when you mentioned that it was permissible to. So this is the message coming to me that people have understood that you said it's permissible to attend the festivals of the non-Muslims. So and also that it's permissible to accept gifts from non-Muslims on their festivals, in their festivals. Now I know that one was you brought the evidence for that one, but the last one permissible to actually attend their festivals. People on the internet think that is what you have said. Did you say that?
No, I didn't say that you attend their festivals at all means, anyhow. No. If the festival is a religious festival, so you don't attend at all. If the festival is not a religious, it's something for dunya like graduation ceremony or wedding ceremony or even funeral. You can attend. As long as there is no haram over there, like mixing men and women, like music, like drinking alcohol. If people drink alcohol, you don't join them, even if they were Muslims, or singing, or there's music, you don't attend. Huh? They can make dua for themselves. But if it's in the church, you don't go. You don't go, but you can go and give condolences, you say? After that, okay, you can go and outside of the church. But don't share with them while praying. Don't stand with them while praying. You can go and shake hands, even inside the church. Go shake hands and walk away, that's fine.
Just a specific issue about this, especially in Indian Hindu weddings, they have the ritual with fire right in front of the hall, but then people usually are seated at the back. Is that permissible or is that also part of it?
So in the wedding, they have next to the groom and what do you call the other one? Bride. They have some religious activities over there to bless them or something like that, yes?
Yeah, they chant their stuff.
I think it's okay. Ask Sheikh Anis. I think it's okay as long as you are not sharing with them that. Then that happens for a while, then they continue with the sermon. Am I right?
You're sitting at the back while they're doing their sermons. You're not really taking part.
But anyhow, it's mixed, yes, men and women. Usually these and there is music. I don't think they do it without music. So you can find him somewhere else. You can send him or her a text message. Okay, you can send your gift, and you can make it clear why you didn't attend, if they understand.
جزاك الله خير شيخ بارك الله فيك. Thank you for that clarification. شكرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.